ఓం శ్రీకృష్ణ పరబ్రహ్మణే నమః. మూకం కరోతి వాచాలం పంగుం లంఘయతే గిరిం యత్కృపాతమహం వందే పరమానందమాధవం. వెల్కమ్ to this next episode. We have been studying the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga of Bhagavad Gita. We have covered so far 50 slokas. Now we commence our episode from the 51st sloka onwards. Before proceeding to discuss on the contents, I want to quote Albert Einstein, scientist and philosopher, and he said about Bhagavad Gita like this: when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created the universe, everything else seems so superfluous. Means he used to get inspiration by reading the verses from Bhagavad Gita and reflecting upon that. That has given him the motivation to discover new things in his realm of science. Bhagavad Gita, no doubt, is a treasure of knowledge. Now the 51st sloka: बुद्धि युक्तो जहातीहा उभे सुकृते दुष्कृते तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. This is the previous sloka, that is 50th sloka, in which Lord Krishna is saying buddhi yukta jahatiha. Then yoga karmasu kausalam. The efficiency in action itself is yoga. He is saying that. Now in the 51st sloka, karmajam buddhi yuktahi sangam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmukta padam gachanti anamayam. The wise people possessed of this evenness of mind renounce the fruits of action for the good of all. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi. Karma jam means the fruits emanating from the actions. Phalam tyaktva, they renounce those fruits of action. Manishinaha, they are called as Manishinaha. Manishina means wise people. Wise people, they do not cling for the fruits of action. They do it, their work skillfully, efficiently, as an offering to the God. That is the quality of a yogi. Then what happens? The result of it is Janma Bandha Vinirmukta. They become freed from the bondages of action and Gachanti Anamayaha. Gachanti Anamayaha means they attain the state free from evil. So when you do action taking ownership with ego, anticipating the fruits of action, then you are entangled in the bondage of karma. If you do it as an offering to the God for the good of all, showing your fullest efficiency, then it removes you from the shackles of the bondage and gives you the state of peace or tranquility. In the 52nd sloka also, Lord Krishna is emphasizing how the actions have to be done. Though this is the Sankhya Yoga, how works are to be done by an individual with this jnana, knowledge. Lord Krishna is narrating step by step. Yada te moha kalilam buddhir tada dantasi nirvedam srotavyasya srutasya cha. When your mind will cross over this area of delusion, means moha. Moha means I am doing for my sake. That is moha. When you cross over this, vyatita rishyati means the crossover. When you cross over this area of moha, delusion, then you will get the utter dispassion. Yadate moha kalilam buddhir vyatita rishyati tada dantasi nirvedam. Nirvedam means dispassion. Then you will get utter dispassion for things heard and things yet to be heard. Srotavyasya srutasya cha. Srotavyasya srutasya cha. For things, what is this meaning? What is the meaning of this? Srotavya srutasya cha means our mind always says, I want to know this, I want to know that. Like that, mind is always flickering all the time. But the will and stability will come when you cross over the realm of moha, when you cross over the area of delusion, moha. That is the meaning of this 52nd sloka. Yadate moha kalilam. Don't fall into delusion. Buddhir yatite rishyati. When you cross over that, tada dantasi nirvedam. Then you attain the state of dispassion, dispassionately doing. You will not be bothered about what I have heard about previously and I should know more things like that. Concentrate on the work and do that work efficiently as an offering to God. That is how you have to do your actions. Lord Krishna is exhorting Arjuna to plunge into action with this spirit of mind. Then in the 53rd sloka, Shruti vipratipannate yathastasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhi tada yogamavapsyasi. When your intellect tossed about by hearing this and hearing that, mind is never peaceful. So that's a wonderful statement. You want to know that, without concentrating on the work on hand, which you are supposed to do, which you are ought to do, by thinking about it, through the flickering of mind, you cannot achieve your goal. So, when your intellect is tossed about by hearing this and hearing that, mind is never peaceful. Yada Shruti vipratipannate. Shruti vipratipannate means perplexed. Your mind is perplexed by hearing, by what somebody has said, you hear it. Somebody is written in that book like that. Your mind gets perplexed. Then it spoils the steadiness of the mind. So don't bother about those things. So Arjuna, now you concentrate on the work without bothering about what you have heard previously and what you have to hear afterwards about that work. So that is a beautiful message conveyed. Now Arjuna has got a doubt now. He gets an opportunity to raise a question. Because Lord Krishna was talking about the steadiness of mind, stability, equanimity, steadfast wisdom, that is the sthita prajnatva. Then Arjuna has got a doubt. He has expressed the doubt in this through this verse, in the 54th verse. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya kesava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimaseta vrajeta kimasita vrajeta kim. This last section of Sankhya Yoga from the sloka number 54 to 72 is devoted to the state of absolute stability, that is steadfast wisdom. These are called sthita prajna lakshanas. Now for an administrator, for a teacher, for a professor, for a manager, for anybody, these sthita prajna lakshanas are essential so that efficiency will come out of them. Then that yoga karmasu kausalam will come when we apply. Now Arjuna is curious to know about those qualities. So he is putting this question. O Keshava, sthitadi kim prabhasheta, kim asita vrajeta kim. Vrajeta kim. You please tell me how a man with a steady wisdom merged in the samadhi, how does that person speak? How he looks at the world around him and how he walks. Vrajati means walk. Kim prabhasheta, how does he speak? Kimasita, how he sits. Kim vrajeta kim, how he moves around. So that is a beautiful question posed by Arjuna. Only one question, very simple, which is relevant not only to Arjuna but for us also. So from 55 to 72, 18 slokas are full of this steadfast wisdom, how to acquire, what are the qualities to be developed, and how to balance the mind, how to control the senses, how to control the distractions. All these are given verse by verse beautifully. So there is a what's it called, a rational ideas were put forth by Lord Krishna to Arjuna in the coming slokas. As a reply, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. Lord Krishna says, Prajahati yada kaman. Kaman means desires, unwanted desires. When a man abandons all unwanted desires, unwanted. So the desires, what happens, one desire, when you satisfy that desire, 4 desires are ready. So you must, with the power of discrimination, you must be able to control the desires to the required extent only. You should entertain the desires and you should see that they are fulfilled. They must be in a right direction or in righteous way, you have to think. When a man abandons all the desires of the mind, unwanted desires of the mind, satisfied with the self by the self, Atmanyevatmana tushtaha, there is a treasure of happiness is located in every human being. But man or woman wants to find happiness in external objects. So, Atmanyevatmana tushtaha, instead of entertaining unwanted desires, you concentrate on your mind to be peaceful within yourself, with yourself. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. Such a person is called sthita prajna. Sthita prajna stadochyate. Such a person is called sthita prajna. Now we have a lot of knowledge. Through this knowledge, we are creating so many, luxurious facilities, entertaining things, and all that. Like our smartphones or the various programs being telecast in the TV through various channels. Always we are going out to seek happiness by looking at them. To the required extent only you have to use that knowledge. So that's why Bertrand Russell has said, impact of science on society. He has written a book. In that book he has told that unless man increase in wisdom as much as in knowledge, increase of knowledge will be increase of sorrow. So you have to transform knowledge into wisdom. Which acts I have to do and which I should not do. So unless you convert that knowledge into wisdom, human life will become a misery. So unbridled desires is the root cause of our malady. So this sloka is very, very important. So these slokas are read by our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Every day he used to read these 18 slokas. In the contemporary situation, E. Sridharan, who is called as the Delhi Metro Man, honor in India, he reads daily these 18 slokas. He says that I am motivated, I am inspired by these slokas. How to do the actions without dispassion, selflessly, as a contribution to the community. For the welfare of the society, I am doing this action. No doubt I am getting my salary, my benefits, but at the same time, when I apply my mind, when I plunge into the work situation, I always do it as an offering to the God for the welfare of the society. So Swami Ranganathananda ji used to say that Yajna means any activity done for the welfare of the community or society. So Yajna. So in the 6th sloka, Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigata spruha Vitaraga bhaya krodho Stitadhir muniruchyate. Stitadhir muniruchyate. Whose mind is steady is called Muni. So muniruchyate. Whose mind is steady is called Muni. Not a flying bird and living in caves or in the hills. He is not Muni. Muni means Mananasila. Whose mind is steady, who has controlled his mind is called a Muni. That definition is given. One whose mind is not shaken by adversity, Dukkheshu anudvignamanaha. Adverse situations we face, but we should not be shaken by such circumstances. And who does not hanker after sensual happiness, Sukheshu vigata spruha. Sukha, I want to get pleasure by using my sense organs without any control over them, then that man is called vigata sukheshu spruha. When you abandon that type of tendency, when you renounce that type of tendency, then you are called Vigata Spruha. Sukheshu Vigata Spruha. Then he should also be able to win over Raga, Bhaya and Krodha. Vitaraga, Bhaya, Krodha. Raga means, blind attachment. Raga. In Mahabharata, Duryodhana and his father Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra has blind attachment to his son. So what happened? We have seen in the Mahabharata. Entire band of 100 sons were destroyed. Blind attachment. So raga, bhaya. Some people, they are always timid. Leave that also. Raga, bhaya and krodha, anger. So, such a person is called as sthita prajna. You should not fall into blind attachment. You should not be afraid of things or circumstances. And also, you should win over the anger, angerlessness you have to reach. Such a person is called sthita prajna. So, in the 57th sloka, yes sarvatra anabhisneha tattat prapya subha subham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. His or her wisdom was established, is well established. Who is unattached everywhere? Anabhisneha. Sneha means attachment in Sanskrit. Sneha means not friendship only. Friendship is also an attachment. Sneha means attachment. Anabhisneha. He who is unattached everywhere, who is not delighted at receiving good nor dejected at unfavorable things. Good things will happen, then you should not get elated. Certain unfavorable results also will come, then you should not be dejected, neither elated nor depressed. Then such a person is called sthita prajna. He is called a man of or woman of steady wisdom. The next sloka presents a famous example of Vedantic literature. So, to make the subject clear and simple, Lord Krishna is giving an example here. Yada samharate chayam kurmo angani vasarvasah indriyani indriyardhebhyah tasya prajna pratisthita. Like the tortoise, kurma means tortoise. Like a tortoise withdrawing its limbs, the one who completely withdraws senses from the sense objects, that person is called a man of or woman of steady wisdom. So the tortoise comes out of the shell to perform its life activities. Then when the activities are over, it withdraws its limbs into the shell. Similarly, one should use the sense organs to do the required things and withdraw himself. Swami Vivekananda used to say, we respond to the external situations, but a yogi is one who withdraws. We should respond, but we should know the technique of withdrawal also. That is beautifully given in this glossa. In this verse, a deep psychological study of human mind is mentioned. So go on using your sense organs, going after the sense objects, mind, falls in delusion. Then we have seen what happens. Attachment starts. Moha delusion comes, then anger comes, then you lose your power of discrimination. Don't entertain like that. You use sparingly your mind and your sense organs to the required extent only. Have a control over your senses and mind. That is the message given by Lord Krishna in this sloka. For that, a beautiful example of tortoise is given. In the 59th sloka, sense objects drop out for the abstinent person. Certain people, they look like as if they have controlled the senses very well. They have withdrawn their senses from the sense objects. But that longing for the sense objects remains within. That should not occur again. That is what is called a hypocrisy. You appear to be as if you have controlled the sense organs, but the mind is longing for that. That should not be there. If you can do that, if you can attain that state of evading longing of the mind towards the sense objects, besides controlling the sense organs, then that person is called Sthita Prajna. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjyam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Sense objects drop out for the abstinent person to not the longing for them. But that longing can cease when he intuits on the Supreme. Param drishtva nivartate. So when your mind is perturbed, sit silently and focus your mind towards the Supreme Godhead, Lord Krishna, whatever your Ishtadevata. When mind is perturbed, you just sit and Param drishtva nivartate. Craving has to go. So instead of showing the mind those sense objects, show you the divine personality so that that mind is absorbed in that. So that is what is called Param drishtva nivartate. Like that, Lord Krishna is giving the techniques of mind management. In the 60th sloka, yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramadhini haranti prasabham manaha. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, even though one is struggling to control the senses, the powerful sense organs drag the mind of a wise man. The sense organs, they don't keep quiet. They want to drag the mind, they drag the mind. For that also one example is given. Indriyani pramadhini haranti prasabham manaha. The senses are like wild horses. They are wayward. Conquest of the senses is the means for the attainment of excellence here and hereafter. So this is another beautiful message. So you must be able to control the sense organs. Otherwise, they pull the mind to the sense objects. Be careful in controlling your sense organs. Like, a chariot driver controls the horses. So, we have covered 10 slokas in this episode containing the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. This is the qualities enumerated here, how to acquire them is applicable for the present day scenario also. Because we are always driven by the sense organs towards the sense objects. So that's why a chaotic society exists in such a situation. So when we read the Bhagavad Gita, when we understand the meaning of these slokas and apply them steadily, Abhyasa Yoga, when you do it constantly, you can become a Sthita Prajna. We can become Sthita Prajnas. So, in the form of Arjuna, Lord Krishna is giving message to the whole humanity for the self-development and to lead a serene, peaceful, tranquil life. In the next episode, we will see the remaining slokas. Krishnam Vande Jagadguru.